a strange thing happened today. Oh, you don't have the bar on it? No, how you doing up in Aberdeen? This is eternal damnation. This is my junior 14 camping form. Oh, huh? Oh, righteous one. I got this one. I had a couple of beers. Anyway, hit 54. That's it. It's all what's it saying? It's all downhill. Remember that joke? Was that good? The 50 in the Northeast Regional. I can't beat it. I gotta pet myself. My Couture cancer, my brain skull has cracked. Wait, put the shirt on. Stupid ass. With the shadows, I look like I gotta leave a brazier. I don't look good with the shadows. I'm here with the spirits. Here you go beat eternal damnation. These people money here. Where should you get that? Do I know you? Yeah, that's probably what you don't know. By the way, we're making a movie. My inheritance, $2.5 million bill. $2.5 million bill. I stole it from Brooks. You know, remember that kid Brooks Shields? I stole it from her. We stole it from the Theodore Roosevelt Museum. What was he, the third president or something? Look it up. You're on the internet, you go like this over here, do something, You want the EN or you want the ENG? That's what I look like. I'm dead since I'm 7 years old in a coma. That's what they said. Turn the switch on. Try that. In paradise, in rain. The show was in Alaska. The great Prince Michael was dead. Was about 3 months old. Flight 800. Go to Wikipedia. Flight 800. You gotta let your fingers do the walking, and let the fingers do the talking while you don't mind, do you? And off camera, as a snake comes out. So this is like what it's like to be dead. Huh? Here's what it's like to be dead. In a coma, dreaming, sleeping. You actually, In other words, you got according to Xbox, which, some of these in paradise, we're not really talking about the family that raised an 8,000-year-old family, And they had a fight with the peasants, the Castoros and the Castor. And they had knocked out one of the, I think, castor oil, male castor oil. And they had taken the, I don't know, actually, no, they said, the captain, the captain. They're trying to explain it to me. Because I had lived 7 lifetimes, 49 years, and they had cut the tape to give me 1 lifetime of 54 years. 54 years old, So I just don't know as of 10/18/64. This is flight 10/18/64, the electron that popped out of a water molecule, atom and molecule in space, and is whipping through space, in the water, in the sea, on planet Earth. And it's like a number 7 cutting this nuclear, cutting the water open and spreading it out, and it's a digital array like you might have with your family album on the computer. And there's a male and female in each one of those, so that's theirs, that's their world. And whether they come together or not, sooner or later they do. Each one, there's a resurrection, everybody stand up, revenge, you got a good beat. Now go back to doing what you're doing. You try to get out of, and you got to do, in the scripture, you got to do the whole thing. You got to go to hell, eternal damnation, you got to go to paradise, you got to suffer through the whole thing. And you got plenty, you know what I'm saying? It's a 915-year lifetime. NASA told, NASA told, a little bit of a lie. because we don't have the money. We were bankrupt in 1982. Ronald Reagan said, "There's no money. You just got elected. Where's the money?" Get some little cash. You got You want to meet the family or the great grandson of Satan, or who wrote the Bible? He lives next door to me. You know what I'm saying? We threw everybody out of heaven over there on the other house, Dad's house. I mean, my father's house. I mean, actually, it's not his. Raymond, the drug tester. I mean, you guys are pissed at drugs. That's it. The whole countryside is pot. In some sort of drug testing. There's drugs. What kind of drugs? Nobody uses drugs, do they? So, and you're not allowed to do that, right? That's what I thought. What? Who am I? That's a good question. The spirit of truth. That's it. That's the lesson we use. We long day, you see. We get awfully thin. I think we better eat. My eyes don't look like that. We'll touch up the eyebrows a little bit, maybe. Yeah, we were coming to me and Cass. I think it was Castor and Phil Sassuntapone. We left Flight 800 Tampa Bay, which was really Rome. We used to be Rome 20,000 years ago. And somebody was smoking a cigarette and filled the airplane with smoke. Is it a fixate? It's not a fixate. It's so we had died. So then as time went on, thousands and thousands of years later, 6,000 years later now, time in Jerusalem. I don't know what you're watching on TV, or whether you see, they play the same 100-year films and music and arts and entertainment over and over again. And all the people died, you know what I'm saying? And then whether they did or they didn't. So I crashed 30 years. It's very difficult because you're talking about science. But the plane crashed 30 years later. It said, I think, 1996 in Mauritius Bay, Long Island. We were in the air. We were sleeping in a VHF dream. You could go to Wikipedia and search this by clicking the links. Flight 800 crashed in Bermuda Triangle, crashed again going to Martinique when we were 21 years old. It was about 400 of us going to the Brooke Shields campaign, my sister. When we were separated, then the Shields were going to raise Brooke, and then because Castellanos were going to raise me the peasants. In exchange for Florida Orphan Program, they used to have it. I don't know about now. We used to have, Florida would pay $2,450, with spring break specials, So they were paid to family $2,450 to take a child and raise them. So we had everything. We had AT&T, we had cable. The money was supposed to be for my college tuition, but I did, learning school in Florida and also going to. This is after the fact. It's all part of a dream. When you're dead, like the Lord said, Jesus Christ, you dream. They're sleeping. They're in science, but they're in a VHF receipt. You don't go no place else other than what your dream is. It could be a real nightmare. I mean, one day a nightmare, one day real good. Sweet dreams. Some people don't know they got, bumped off. So we're making this movie, and then, so how to fund it. If you want to make a movie, how does it, you got $32 million, to make the movie. There's 10 Star Treks up for bid, right? None of them paid the 32 million. They want Hollywood to pay. There's no way. I mean, we have a machine shop. You know, we took one chance. Well, with that clock too, we invested $250,000. I mean, that guy did nothing but try to steal a fucking thing. I mean, excuse me, steal a thing his whole life. You know what I'm saying? So, but that you saw in this house was sold to Frank Shields. Actually, they sold it. Actually, that's not funny. You guys are funny. That's half my. Lieutenant Lucy, the fire department, took half my check to buy this house. He asked for $10,000, one for this place, one for Long Island, New York, the retirement community on Orient Point, and one for Florida, Orient Point Peninsula, Florida, Long Island. So all the stuff I see that we got out of stock. The Castoro sell his wine. All the quotes break. That's not what we heard. They wanted the government wanted them to buy that. Wanted to buy those cars that they're supposed to eat them. So what I did, you know, I mean, you got to pinch it out of your personal area, you know, and the skin, you know. Something new. You know, the war, the Holy Land War. The Holy Land War was in 1969, I think. I don't remember. I can't remember. You know, my contusion cancer had split the skull split, so that's it for me. So we're going to go on our way back down the hill. So there's Angel Mike. We're through saying now, you know, but there's no point. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's his. But I mean, there's this booby surprise in Revelations 13. Anybody who believes in Christ will make it. So when I went down here in Florida, UFO program, DOD Galactic, well, tremendous medicine science. And we have the home theater. Did you get your home theater system? Did you get it? I had the most expensive one, $8,000 I paid for it. Now I got the least expensive one for poor people. So this house was a Dollar General special. You know what I mean? I would think if I look at it, it's a Family Dollar, but I got thrown out of there. She ripped me off for $60 in line to the counts. This is all a movie I wrote a long time ago. Yeah, you probably don't know about it. You know, some of that stuff is top secret. We worked on a global antenna, the AT&T antenna. There's an antenna off the coastline, and on the East Coast. And you're not going no place when you die. You know, you might be by yourself. You know, you're probably dead, or actually dead in the south, past Maryland, you're dead already. Somebody bumps you off. You know, if you want my advice, get in the jet and go back home and kill you. I'm not fucking kidding you, man. Hey, everybody there's going to think you were dead. That's a tough one to explain, you know. Anyway, I go back down to then Sunday. Come up here. What do you got? What do you got for time? That's 7:09, 8:09 New York City. Oh, how did I set this up? We're not doing that no more. 30-year impasse before they restart the nation. And so we have to go sign back into the United States. If you want a public support check. That's what that family was, a public support family. That poor man, I'm not on. Plus 320, you can get 325 if you go down to Port Patrick, Long Island. Do we have roads yet? That's what Mike figured out. I mean, drive to work on the, it was exit 57, the rest area. You know, they put that in later, they put a Howard Johnson in there. What building they did those 7 COs? And what a great job they did. He died though about 9-10 months ago. Maybe more. Unfortunate thing. So what does it say there? Does it say Oliver Conkey? I don't remember what I remember. Yeah, I taught them. I wanted to teach them ministry. I wanted to teach them ministry. The Angel Mike Revelations 20. unless they change it. Throw out the demons and evil angel, the Satan, all day Revelation swap. And then you have the resurrection. You get up and go back to work. Stop complaining. That's when there's no more public support, when there's nothing left on the shelves to eat. It's bad. Do I have to show you? You got Perry, look at this. You talking about that. And last night, the chunk come off of here and went in here. We were trying for the glorified body. But this is a different species, It's like the military I told you, we're extincting ourselves by our decision making. So seemingly when they produce an offspring, it produces the next one that it believes that somehow biochemically how it could maintain its existence. Well, that's it. I'm going out for a beer. I don't know about you. Do you take the medicine? The EST D19. Look at the doctor's medicine before they had prescriptions. Miller High Life. They can't do that. The champagne dish. It came on the market. The chain reaction AMPA GNC General National Conference of Beers. That's the family name, and then all the other beer became to compete against it, which cleans out the backside. It's a 7 remedies, for that process when you hit 50 years old. Actually, they said best to do it. Stop working, take a couple of years off, drink 4 beers a day at 28 years old maybe, and clean the system out before, especially in production when you get some funding. You can't do any of that stuff without dying. You'll die at 72 average. Otherwise, you live to 915 years old. That was something that came to Atlantis, now known as Long Island, and defeat. We were defeated and we're known as Long Island, just outside New York City. We should be returning at Christmas Eve. In December, just to visit Mom. And how is it? That's the thing. When you doze like that, you're going out. It's 186,000 million miles a second to the next creation. As a Star Trek bliss through space. It really was an electron that pumped out of the atom and molecule. When that happened, it took off. And it's that you can't tell in your area if you're in Long Island, if you're listening. But here you can tell because the sun runs straight across the sky from the back corner of the house to the front, which this house is completely inverted in a special house, a $4 million home, which you can get a timeshare for. I think they when Grumman closed, they sold it to the public. It was NASA, Grumman, and the U.S. military here. And they had set this all up in special houses. But the whole contract was closed when it went to Northrop Grumman. And that is for sightseeing research. Not that you're doing any research, to learn the research of the people that did it, the experts that did it. You spent the money for it. You might want to, but I'll tell you, this town, like Hank was telling me next door, that family I was telling you about, the Garden of Eden, that wrote that book. I thought it was him. He didn't know his relative is. There's 4 people there. The girl got banged. And, she went out and got laid. He's standing in the bushes watching her. His sister's teaching how to get laid. Teaching him how to get laid. I think, but when I hear you guys talk on Sunday, I'm laughing. Shit. Where's the basket with the $20? I gotta go home yet. I gotta do gas money. And then back and cigarettes. You guys want to beer? Matter of fact, let's go get a beer. Did Christ teach? Christ came up from South America, right? Yeah, matter of fact, I think we're going to restart the program in the Northeast, right? When will we be back in 40 years? What was your time? Might be, is it December? It's 3 something. Is it 3 months? I have to do the calculation. There isn't like this here in Star Trek Bridge. That's for the people who don't believe in Jesus Christ, who don't make it. On Star Trek Bridge. Go to, you live in a digital. You look at MSN maps, render it. It's a model. You're living in a camera. that they paste your own. You just paste your own house. You don't do hammer nails no more. Not those people, not the people I'm talking about. Cat store. What is it? I mean, they're in heaven. Totally different world. I mean, as ruthless as terrible as it was. But if you have the resurrection, then you know the whole thing. I'm gonna get two. I have it. I'm gonna get credit, man. What do you say? Oh, no, it must be a big cash the other day. Coins. Zinc. Unless I had looked at the government mint office. Well, where we look, how we looking? I won a $2 billion prize money for psychiatry, $2 billion prize money with the World Trade Center for selling 25 products. Shit, well, I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting right there. I never even noticed the World Trade Center on the ground in New York City when I worked up in Long Island. People were pissed. I mean, nothing, not even I mean, they told you, what they tell you, you tell one of your relatives or people you know overseas, all the deals you have, and nothing. Get it straight. Actually, if anything, we'll get a public support check. Some of those deals, like one deal with a bauxite from China, $400,000 a month. But there's government employees handling it. You're not allowed to handle it. You don't know what you're doing. And don't call that because they'll send their military over because that's where they do marketing. One more. There we go. The church had dumped them all on Dollar General. Dollar a piece, 79 cents each. Well, you know what I'm saying? So I had the ministry here since 2014. Cost me $78,000 house, 10 years, 728 mortgage payment, retirement community, Equinox houseless house, full cancer. And we came back here, we taught over at, it was called Dollar General, Cumberland Farms, and all this is illegal to do, by the way. You can't mention those names. And then Sunoco, West Texaco. So we taught, and we paid, we shared all the money, about $20 a day per place. And that's it. And that's Christianity. Or if you're in this area, you know what Christianity is. You're not allowed to have a church. You're not allowed to go to church. You're not allowed to teach the gospel. It's the spoken word of God called schizophrenia. So, what persecutest thou me? Because I feel like it. Oh, my blood pressure and my diabetes. And tell me we were kidding around. We just wanted you to buy out of the pharmacy. Nobody was going to the doctors. Nobody had any money. But the day off. Those are keys. One for the road. Carnival. We're at the Carnival. What do you got? You ready to mention? Yeah. Well, figure, you come up with 19, was it 1900, 1969, right? The war with the holiday. I don't know, like, about 4 or 5 of us came over, a couple of Hebrews. Oh, yeah, birthday. That's fine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm gonna make this. We did 20 movies from Brooke Shields. You probably didn't like them. You know what I mean? The Bull Lady. Well, let's play that ticket. You know what I mean? Randy, a what? Oh, hey, she got 50 grand for one movie. You know, sit down with that and baby, put some cash on. I don't know what she got in fractions, but something like this here, I've developed this whole Star Trek. We picture the Star Trek busting in the move underneath the sun. Towards the sun, 93 million miles away. Right? You're standing in the kitchen, where's the sunrise in your house? Just if you put some music on, you get yourself. Right? You were funded? Were you guys funded? Yeah, we were funded. Ron Kenton was funded. Ron Kenton was funded. So we had the orphan program that Michael Phelps took me. And 2,450 a month. Man, who could? I mean, you got an education down in Florida. I mean, you got trick. It used to be 19 comma 64. It's not. Then they changed all the rules around. I didn't understand that at 7 years old. 1960, no, 1 comma 964. You know what I mean? Always getting zeros on the test. I'm putting down a NASA answer. And then meanwhile, in Ron Cotton, I forget who the teachers were. Bonnie Berger, Dachi and Wells, and we had a 0 all the time. Getting upset, so how can I be an A student in one place and absolute 0 in the next place? There's no broadcasting out of here, is it? Oh, you gotta put the microphone on? Casting 1, 2, 3. No. Let's see. Finish stream.